So someone asked me on YouTube, where are the best quick cash spots to go make some money? Hi, my name is Levi, and this is the Daily Drive. I'd like to thank Tonquin, the Daily Drive sponsor. Tonquin deliver car parts from auto part suppliers to auto part repair shops. Tonquin's great. It works just like any other gig app. The team at Tonquin, they're pros, they know what they're doing. And what's great about Tonquin is you're going to go from business to business. There's no longer this waiting on the curb hoping that the passenger shows up. Trust me, these auto part suppliers and repair shops, they need that part right away and they're going to get it done. So again, go to Tonquin.com. Let the team at Tonquin know that Levi from Tip You in the App sent you. It's Tonquin. Check them out. They're great. Let me just give you a couple of quick news stories that I found were interesting. First, from Fast Company, Robinhood launches a retirement plan for gig workers. That's kind of neat. And what I like about it, even though it only serves TaskRabbit, Grubhub, and GoPuff right now, I like that these other industries are looking at gig workers, people like you and me, who are out there kind of like on our own, and they're trying to find tools, this one, a retirement plan, to help us operate a little bit more like an employee, but we're in control, not some sort of other company. So with Robinhood, they've got some sort of 1% to 3% matching depending upon how you enroll with them. It's great. So if you're looking to save for retirement, check out Robinhood. I think that's really neat. I really appreciate that. A little bit of I don't know if it's a funny story, but it's a story nonetheless. Out of High Times, an Uber driver allegedly doubled as a shroom and LSD dealer. What a dummy. What an idiot, right? First of all, drugs in it and selling it out of your car, selling it out of Uber. Florida man. There you go. Fit the meme. The reason why I think this story is interesting is I just feel like this driver was probably operating with this idea that he's autonomous. Like nobody knows what he's doing. He's anonymous, maybe is a better way to say it. And that's just not true. There are people watching you as a driver, whether it's other drivers on the road, but 100% your passenger is watching you. And I think the apps are even listening in, right? Think about, compare it to, I'm going to say, doing off-app trips. Have you ever been offered by a passenger to do an off-app purchase, a trip? Like, hey, this trip cost me $100. If I pay you $50 in cash, would you do it? Or something like that. This is how people get caught up in doing dumb things. Now, that's not necessarily illegal to do an off-app. Maybe it is in your state. I don't know, but I don't do it. But people are watching and paying attention. You're out there on your own, but you're not alone, if that makes sense. So just don't do anything dumb. Just don't do anything dumb. Sad story, maybe not sad, but a story nonetheless. A Nashville Uber driver fatally shoots passenger after alleged kidnapping. It says alleged, so we don't know for sure, but you and I both know that there's people out there. There are evil people that are trying to harm us and hurt us. And that's not a good thing. And it looks like this driver took action into his own hands. And that's a good thing if he was being kidnapped and he was able to kill somebody who was trying to harm him. But I guess safety is my most important thing. It's more important than making money. And I would recommend that you continue to use your best judgment. If it feels unsafe, take immediate action. Call 911. Get out of there, whatever it might be, whatever you have to do to avoid some sort of violent situation. And in this situation, it turned violent, it looks like, and the driver was able to defend himself. It's just another story of the danger that we face, and I want to make sure that you're aware of it, and you're always thinking about it, because if you're not, that's when the bad things are going to happen. And we'll end our news on a good news story here. Uber Eats delivery driver started his own business out of Yahoo Finance. It says Tony Isles is not your average delivery driver. So he's done like 4 years, 10,000 Uber Eats orders, and his market got oversaturated. And he said he was just sitting around waiting for orders. We've been there, right? So instead of just sitting around with nothing to do, he took action. And I like that. I like that about gig workers, right? We are people of action. We don't have to be passive, waiting for what Uber and Lyft give us. We can be proactive, and that's what he did. So he started his own company. And I won't go too far into it. Hey, he calls the company Tony Delivers. It's really neat. And what he does is he charges only $5 for any order within 1.5 miles of his Beacon Hill neighborhood. He does it on an e-bike or an e-scooter. It's just a flat rate. He didn't share his numbers, which is fine. But that's kind of cool, right? That's really neat. And I hope you have that same initiative. And it doesn't have to be starting your own company. But if you're not making the money that you want to make or that you feel you are owed, that you can earn, that you're capable of, go out and do something about it. So Tony, kudos, good work. And I'm cheering for you, man. I'm really cheering for you. I'd like to introduce you to Rideshare.tax. Rideshare.tax is a new sponsor here of the Daily Drive. I met Amir and his team there at Rideshare.tax, and they are CPA pros. And you know me, I'm a numbers guy, and they are numbers people too. At Rideshare.tax, they're going to give you custom personalized service for a flat rate of $125. And if you use the coupon code Levi, that's Levi, they'll give you an additional 10% off for your federal taxes. Again, Rideshare.tax. Taxes are hard, but they don't have to be hard if you hire the right people. I recommend you contact Rideshare.tax, click on the link in the description, and let that team know that Levi from Tip You in the App sent you. Rideshare.tax. All right, so I got a question on YouTube from a driver that's, soon to be driver. His name is 7 equals God. And he asked me 3 questions. Let's go through his comment here. Hey, brother. I'll take that. I'm about to start driving soon, and I wanted to please ask you 3 questions in particular. Can you speak on a 140 ride, $2,000 bonus? The second question is, would you, let's see here. The second question would be, where are the best quick cash spots to drive? And at what times are the best to drive? And the third question is, do you record your trips on film or for safety, or for film or for safety? And what camera do you use? Here's my camera right here, and I do it for safety. What I like about my Vantrue camera, and this is the 4-channel one, I think it's called the N5. It's their latest camera. Nexus 5 is what it's called. And what's great about this Vantrue is that it has 4 cameras. So there's one facing out the dash, there's one facing out the rear, the inside one's facing me, and the passenger is behind us. But that 4th camera is actually coming from behind, and it's kind of over the passenger's shoulder back to the dash. It's 100% for safety. While I do take some footage out of there for the YouTube channel, what I like about a camera is the passengers see it, and they kind of know they're already being recorded, so their behavior changes. And if I feel I'm in a situation where the passenger is going to get unruly or even dangerous, I point to the camera and I lie. I tell them that it's streaming to the internet. So that way, even if they were to take the camera out of the car and take the memory card, they might feel they're still being watched. Now, the Tesla has some cameras too, and so some other things like that. But I like the magnet. So this is basically how it connects. And there's this magnet piece right here. I love that. So again, Vantrue, Nexus 5. Vantrue, if you want to sponsor, please let me know. All right. So the bigger question though is the guy looks like he's got a 140 ride, $2,000 bonus. Now he said bonus. I think typically these come down as like a guarantee, right? You get $2,000 guaranteed if you do 140 rides. So let's talk about them in 2 different ways. If it's a 140 ride bonus, $2,000 bonus, I would probably try to drive my market the normal way I would drive. So for me, I'm a short drive taker, but if the bonus was just there, as soon as I complete 140 rides, I wouldn't necessarily try to take the shortest ride. I would just try to take the rides that I think are the most profitable. However, if it's a $2,000 guarantee, that means that if I earn $1,500 doing 140 trips and I get a $500 additional payment, I'm going to take the shortest trips possible because I want to do it as fast as possible. I want to get the $2,000 in my pocket. That means, to answer his other question, where are the best quick cash spots and what are the best times to drive? Now, this is not advice because, again, I don't know what city this guy's in, but this is how I would do it. I'm a big believer in college campuses. Students at 10 p.m. kind of wake up and they go till about 3 a.m. It's about a 5-hour window, at least in my area. And that's Syracuse University, Binghamton University, Cornell, Oswego. There's a bunch of other ones, but just take those. And the students don't want to walk anywhere, especially if the weather's bad. And I live in upstate New York, so the weather's going to be cold. And so they'll do half-mile trips. They'll do 1-mile trips. How many short trips can you complete in an hour, especially if you need to get to 140 as quick as possible? So my goal is 5 minutes is the farthest I'll drive to pick up, and 10 minutes is the longest trip that I'll take. So that's 15 minutes total. So if the trip's within 15 minutes, for the most part, I'm going to take it. Now, sometimes that means I'll take a 7-minute plus 7, so it's 14 minutes or something like that. But for the most part, 5 and 10, 5 and 10. I'm only looking at time, especially if I'm working on some sort of $2,000 guarantee. Because if it's a $2 ride, that's not really what it is. It's a $14 ride, right? It's $2,000 divided by 140. That's $14 and some change. So no matter how small the dollar amount may look, the reality is it's going to be $14. And that means I would not take any trips that are more than 14, right? I would not try to take any long trips. I would ignore all those because they're just basically eating into the additional cash that you could get as quickly as possible. So I love questions. I want to conclude by, first introducing you to VOOM and VOOM rideshare insurance. Again, what you do with VOOM is you pay for only the private insurance that you need, right? So you have Uber and Lyft paying for insurance when your app is on. When your app is off, you should have private insurance. Right now, I pay for private insurance on the entire time because VOOM is not in my market. They're in Arizona, Colorado, Tennessee, and Nevada, I think soon. So they're in those 4 states. So the people that get VOOM insurance are saving 60%, upwards of 60%. Check the team out at VOOM. Click on the link in the description below. I want to wrap with this idea of communication and a community. I created Tippy in the app where I'm hoping drivers, people like you and me, connect and communicate as often as possible. I think there's a lot of YouTubers out there that are great. I like them all, but they're kind of wrapped around a couple of other things. So they're trying to get views by doing something funny. And I like that, right? They got funny things that the passenger might do or whatever, or things that might make us angry, right? This is what Uber's doing and it makes us angry. What I'm hoping is that we find like-minded drivers that, want to make as much money as we can, but are safe, healthy, and happy, right? That we have to enjoy the flexibility and the freedom that doing rideshare gives us. So please check out all the sponsors. They're the people that are helping make this whole thing happen. I'm trying a lot of new formats for the daily drive. This one is just me kind of just winging it instead of structuring it. Because I want to do more of them, and it's hard to do it daily if I have to overproduce it to some extent. So yeah, give me some feedback. What kind of show are you looking for? I want to give you as much news and information and things that I can as quickly as possible. And so trying to put it all together. Again, this is all new. Thank you so much for liking and watching, subscribing. Comment. Let's engage. What would you do if you had to do a $2,000 bonus or a $2,000 ride guarantee? Well, how would you do it? Comment and let's let the other rider know what we would do. Be well, be safe. I'm cheering for you. Bye.